All right, let me just say this up front. If you recently dropped serious cash on an electric car from one of those fancy American or European brands, you might want to sit down for this, because I'm about to introduce you to something that is going to make you question every decision you've made in the past year. Picture this: an electric vehicle that rockets from 0 to 60 faster than you can say, range anxiety, cruises for over 370 miles without needing a charge, and has an interior that makes you feel like you've stepped into tomorrow. And here's the kicker: it costs less than what most people spend on a bare-bones electric sedan. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. There's got to be a catch, right? Well, stick around, because what I'm about to reveal is going to blow your mind. This is the vehicle that has automakers in Detroit and Stuttgart losing sleep at night. Before we go any further, do me a favor and hit that like button, because, trust me, you're going to want to remember where you were when you first learned about this. So, let's get into it. Have you ever seen a car that just makes you stop and stare? Like, it's not doing anything special, just sitting there, but somehow it commands attention like a celebrity walking into a coffee shop? That's exactly the vibe we're dealing with here. This thing doesn't just occupy parking spaces, it owns them. It's the kind of car that makes other drivers do a double take at intersections, wondering if they just saw something from a movie set. Let's talk about what this beast actually looks like, because the design is where the story really begins. When you first lay eyes on it, your brain does this weird thing where it tries to categorize what you're seeing. Is it a sedan? Not quite. A crossover? Definitely not. It's got this shooting brake silhouette that's both retro and futuristic at the same time, like someone took the best elements of classic European Grand Tours and filtered them through a sci-fi lens. The proportions are just perfect, you know? Not too aggressive, not too soft. It sits right in that sweet spot where elegance meets attitude. The front fascia is where you really start to appreciate the thought that went into this design. There's none of that fake grille nonsense that some electric cars still cling to like a security blanket. Instead, you get this clean, aerodynamic face with LED headlights that look almost predatory. They're slim, sharp, and they've got this intensity that makes the car look like it's planning something. The daytime running lights are these ultra-thin strips that give off serious futuristic warrior energy. And the active air vents? They're not just for show. This thing has been sculpted in wind tunnels to slip through the air like a knife through butter. Now, walk around to the side, and this is where your jaw might actually drop. This car stretches out over 16.5 feet. That's longer than most luxury sedans on the market today. But here's the thing: it doesn't look bloated or awkward. Every single line, every curve, every subtle crease has been placed there with intention. The roofline sweeps back toward the rear in this gorgeous arch that reminds you of high-end sports cars that cost 3 times as much. And those frameless doors? They're not just a cool visual trick. They add this premium touch that makes you feel special every single time you open them. The door handles are flush with the body, popping out when you approach, and they do it faster and smoother than you'd expect. It's the little details like this that separate the impressive from the unforgettable. But let's talk about the rear end, because this is where the designers really decided to show off. You've got this full-width light bar that stretches across the entire back, giving it that modern, premium look that every luxury car seems to be chasing these days. The rear diffuser is muscular and purposeful, and the overall stance screams confidence. It's not trying to be a family hauler. It's not trying to be a traditional sedan. It's carving out its own identity, and honestly, it's doing a pretty incredible job of it. Think of it as what would happen if you took the sophistication of a high-end European tourer and gave it a dose of electric adrenaline. And can we talk about the paint for a second? Because this is something that manufacturers from this part of the world used to struggle with. Not anymore. The finish quality is absolutely stunning. You get color options like this deep polar night black that looks like liquid obsidian, or this quantum silver that shifts in the light, or an electric blue that practically glows under the sun. When the light hits these panels just right, it's like the car is illuminated from within. They've also got these massive 22-inch forged wheels available on the top trim, wrapped in performance tires that aren't just for show. When those wheels fill up the arches, the stance is absolutely perfect. Park this next to any premium electric sedan from Germany or America, and it doesn't look like the budget option. If anything, it looks like the one with newer ideas. You know that feeling when a new phone comes out and suddenly the one you bought 6 months ago feels ancient? That's the effect this car has on the electric vehicle landscape. And we haven't even opened the doors yet. But before we step inside, if you're digging this deep dive into the cars that are reshaping the entire automotive industry, do yourself a favor and smash that subscribe button. We're covering the wildest vehicles that most people don't even know exist yet, and you're not going to want to miss what's coming next. All right, let's open the door and see what's happening inside, because this is where things get really interesting. The moment you slide into the driver's seat, you realize this isn't just a car, it's an experience. Everything around you feels intentional, premium, and dare I say it, futuristic in a way that doesn't feel gimmicky. Right in front of you, dominating the center of the dashboard, is this massive floating touchscreen. We're talking over 15 inches of high-resolution display running software that's actually intuitive and responsive. None of that laggy, frustrating interface that makes you want to throw your phone at the screen. This system flows smoothly, looks gorgeous, and honestly puts a lot of other electric car interfaces to shame. It's more like using a high-end tablet than a car computer. Behind the steering wheel, you've got a clean, modern instrument cluster that gives you all the essential information without overwhelming you. But here's where it gets wild. Above the dashboard, there's this massive augmented reality heads-up display that projects information directly onto the windshield. And I'm not just talking about your speed and the next turn. This thing shows you lane guidance, traffic warnings, even highlights pedestrians if they're getting too close to your path. It's like having a co-pilot from the future sitting next to you, pointing out everything you need to know in real time. The first time you experience it, you genuinely feel like you've stepped into a different era of driving. Now, let's talk about the materials, because this is where a lot of cars trying to hit a certain price point start cutting corners. Not here. The dashboard and door panels are wrapped in this soft, supple leather that feels expensive to the touch. You've got brushed metal accents, real metal, not plastic pretending to be metal, and these Alcantara touches that add texture and visual interest. It is the kind of cabin where you want to just sit and run your hands over everything because it all feels so good. The seats are another level entirely. Heated, ventilated, and equipped with massage functions that you can actually customize. This isn't some one-size-fits-all massage that just vibrates randomly. You can adjust the intensity, the pattern, the zones. It's like having a personal massage therapist built into your seat. And the sound system, 14 speakers, 3-dimensional surround sound, professionally tuned specifically for the shape and acoustics of this cabin. Close your eyes while listening to music in this car and you'd swear you were in a private concert hall. The whole cabin is lined with ambient lighting that you can customize to match your mood or the music you're playing. Want a calm blue for your morning commute? Done. Want an energetic red for your evening drive? You got it. And here's my personal favorite feature. There's this Zen mode that you can activate with a single button. Press it, and the car dims the lights to a soft glow, plays these calming ambient sounds, reclines your seat to the perfect angle, and basically transforms your vehicle into a rolling meditation studio. Meanwhile, other manufacturers are out here removing physical buttons like they're going out of style, and this car is adding features that actually make your life better. The center console is wide and minimalist, but doesn't sacrifice functionality for style. You've got storage compartments, wireless charging pads that actually work, and this solid-feeling rotary drive selector that has just the right amount of resistance when you turn it. It feels engineered, not cheap. And the people sitting in the back? They're not getting the budget treatment either. Rear passengers get their own climate control screens, charging ports, heated seats, and genuinely impressive legroom thanks to the long wheelbase this car sits on. This is a true 5-seater where all 5 people can actually be comfortable, even on long trips. But the tech doesn't stop there. This car recognizes your face to unlock, greets you with personalized lighting when you approach, and receives over-the-air software updates that actually add new features instead of just fixing bugs. Like one update literally added the ability to park the car remotely using your phone. You can stand outside and maneuver the car into tight spots like you're playing a video game. That's the kind of futuristic functionality you'd expect from six-figure luxury brands or cutting-edge tech companies. Finding it at this price point feels almost unfair. Every single element of the interior feels like it was designed by people who actually care about the driver and passenger experience. This isn't a car that was built to hit a checkbox. It was built to impress, to comfort, and to delight. And honestly, it succeeds on all three counts. Now, let's get practical for a minute because a car can look amazing and feel incredible. But if it doesn't work for your actual life, what's the point? So can you actually live with this thing day to day? Short answer, absolutely. This is a legitimate 5-seater where even the people in the back aren't cramped or uncomfortable. Thanks to the flat floor that comes with electric vehicle architecture, there's no transmission tunnel eating up foot space. Everyone gets to stretch out. And when it comes to cargo, you're looking at about 19 cubic feet in the trunk, which is more than most sedans and even beats out some compact SUVs. Need more space? Fold down the rear seats and you're suddenly working with over 70 cubic feet. That's enough room for a family road trip, a massive grocery haul, or all your camping gear for a weekend adventure. Plus, there's a small front trunk for charging cables, bags, or anything else you want to keep separate from the main cargo area. And because the car has air suspension, it can actually lower itself to make loading easier, or raise up when you're dealing with rough roads or steep driveways. It's a family car that looks like a sports car. That combination is incredibly rare, and it's part of what makes this vehicle so compelling. All right, let's dive into some of the wild details that really set this apart, because we're talking about a car that does not just compete, it rewrites the rules. First up, the range situation. This car offers different battery options, including a massive 140 kilowatt-hour pack. With that big battery, you can travel over 600 kilometers on a single charge according to their testing cycle. In real-world terms, that translates to well over 370 miles. You could drive from one major city to another and back without even thinking about charging. That's the kind of range that eliminates anxiety and makes electric vehicles genuinely practical for everyone. And charging, this thing is seriously impressive. With ultra-fast charging capability, you can go from 10% to 80% battery in about 30 minutes. That's the time it takes to grab coffee, use the restroom, and scroll through your phone. By the time you're ready to get back on the road, so is your car. Then there's the suspension wizardry happening under the floor. This isn't just basic air suspension. This is intelligent adaptive air suspension that reads the road 500 times every single second. It adjusts each corner of the car individually based on what it's sensing. Hit a pothole? The system compensates before the impact even reaches the cabin. You could probably drive over rough terrain and barely spill your coffee. It's the kind of engineering that used to be reserved for ultra-luxury brands, and now it's showing up here. The attention to detail is almost obsessive. Those frameless doors we talked about earlier, they close with soft, close motors that pull them in silently and smoothly. The flush door handles actually heat up in cold weather so they never freeze shut. The rear spoiler automatically deploys when you hit highway speeds for added stability, but you can also pop it manually if you're feeling a little theatrical at a stoplight. That augmented reality heads-up display I mentioned? It doesn't just show navigation. It literally projects animated lane guides that bend and turn with the road ahead, making it almost impossible to miss your exit. It highlights pedestrians in yellow if they're getting too close. It's like having X-ray vision for driving. And for the tech enthusiasts out there, this car is running dual high-performance computing chips pushing over 500 trillion operations per second. That's more raw processing power than some aircraft. Even the seat sensors are over-engineered in the best way possible. They don't just detect weight, they detect posture and will automatically adjust lumbar support if you're slouching. It's like having a robotic chiropractor built into your car that is constantly looking out for your spine health. The body construction is equally impressive. The manufacturer uses massive die-casting presses to create large, single-piece components for the front and rear, similar to what some American electric car makers have bragged about. Fewer welds means more structural rigidity and less road noise. The result? A cabin that's whisper-quiet even at highway speeds. You're cruising at 90 miles per hour and you can still have a normal conversation without raising your voice. And here's a flex that's worth mentioning. The chassis tuning was handled by engineers from a legendary British sports car brand known for razor-sharp handling. So you've got a 16.5-foot luxury electric vehicle that corners like a sports coupe. It's like if a high-end European Grand Tourer and a spaceship had a baby, and that baby trained in martial arts. The combination shouldn't work, but somehow it absolutely does. Now let's talk power, because this is where things get downright ridiculous. The vehicle comes with multiple electric powertrain options, all of them impressive. The base rear-wheel drive model packs a battery that delivers over 400 horsepower. That's good enough to hit 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds, which is genuinely quick for a car this size. But the all-wheel drive variant? That's where things get spicy. Dual motors, over 500 combined horsepower, and a 0 to 60 time of just 3.8 seconds. Let that sink in for a moment. This family-friendly electric vehicle will embarrass sports cars at traffic lights. And the top trim with the largest battery? You're looking at over 430 miles of real-world range. Charge it from 10 to 80% in half an hour using fast charging infrastructure. That's faster charging than most competitors unless you're using the absolute latest generation charging stations. And because the parent company behind this car also owns several prestigious European brands, you know the engineering isn't guesswork or corner cutting. This platform is built on advanced electric vehicle architecture that's modular, future-proof, and shared across multiple high-end brands. Translation: it's not just fast, it's smartly engineered from the ground up. The power delivery is instant, smooth, and eerily quiet. Switch it to sport mode, and it feels like you're being launched from a slingshot. Switch to comfort mode, and it rides like a luxury sedan gliding on air. Whether you're doing the school run or blasting down the highway, this vehicle handles both scenarios effortlessly without breaking a sweat. But all the luxury and performance in the world doesn't matter if the car isn't safe, right? Well, the engineers came prepared. This vehicle carries a 5-star safety rating from one of the toughest testing organizations in the world, and that's not easy to achieve. The structure uses a combination of reinforced aluminum and high-strength steel. There are 11 airbags strategically placed throughout the cabin. The safety systems include collision prediction with automatic emergency braking, lane-keeping assistance, blind spot monitoring, 360-degree cameras, and an advanced driver assistance system powered by those dual high-performance computing chips we talked about earlier. The car constantly monitors everything around it using a combination of LiDAR, radar, and high-definition cameras, creating a digital safety bubble in all directions. It can handle stop-and-go traffic autonomously, execute lane changes, and even take highway exits on its own with minimal driver input. And because the software keeps learning through over-the-air updates, the safety systems actually improve over time. While most cars depreciate and get outdated, this one gets smarter and safer. That's genuinely next-level thinking. All right, let's get to the moment that's going to make you question everything. The price. So let's do a quick recap of what we're talking about here. A luxury electric vehicle with massage seats, a massive touchscreen, augmented reality heads-up display, dual-motor all-wheel drive, acceleration that embarrasses sports cars, over 400 miles of range, massive wheels, adaptive air suspension, and premium audio. You're probably thinking this is an $80,000 car, maybe $90,000, right? Not even close. In its home market, this vehicle starts at around $36,000 for the rear-wheel drive version. Even the fully loaded all-wheel drive variant with every major feature stays under $45,000. Let me say that again. Under 45 grand. That's absolutely insane when you consider the competition. You could buy two of these for the price of one high-end American electric sedan. It's like walking into a luxury boutique expecting to max out your credit card and discovering everything's on clearance. That's why this car is causing such a stir in the automotive world. It's proof that premium doesn't have to mean overpriced. If this thing ever lands in Western markets at anywhere near that price point, legacy automakers are going to have some serious soul-searching to do. Now, let's be real for a second, because there are always trade-offs. First, and most obvious, good luck actually buying one if you live in North America or most of Europe. Between trade policies, import taxes, and safety certification requirements, vehicles like this are essentially locked out of those markets for now. Unless the manufacturer opens local factories or partners with one of their European sister brands to bring it over, this beauty stays on the other side of the world. Second, there's the perception issue. Even though the country producing these cars has been absolutely dominating electric vehicle innovation for years now, a lot of Western buyers still hesitate. There's this lingering assumption that affordable equals unreliable. It's the same skepticism people had about Korean cars 20 years ago. Look how that turned out. Now those same Korean brands have luxury divisions that compete with the Germans. Third, infrastructure and service. Even if this car magically appeared in showrooms tomorrow, how would you service it? You need parts networks, trained technicians, diagnostic equipment. Building all that takes time and serious investment.